Okay, so initially we asked you to come on and you had a little hesitation, which I totally understand.
Yes.
So I'm just curious, what was the hesitation and then what made you decide then to end up coming on?
I think I mean, like I said, I hadn't rewatched any of it.
Yeah.
I think that coming on requires that, and I was like, I don't know. And then I think it was just timing. Like I said, I was like locked in a house by myself for 10 days.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, well, there's no one around me. Like, I can do this now. Like, I can sit and watch a couple of these episodes. And then I listened to your guys' pilot, and I thought you did a really nice job.
Thanks.
I think you were reflective, but also kind to everybody. So I was like, okay, that feels like a safe space.
Good. Okay, good. Yeah, I'm glad.
It's smart. There's a lot of people, just coming on. It hasn't been easy for some people to come on.
Sure.
There's still some people that haven't come on, and I think it's a difficult thing, but we like to show that once you actually come here and have the chat, it's fun. We're not trying to
I know.
Yeah, we're not putting anyone on blast.
No, I don't
not,
think
but
so.
Yeah.
honestly, if you guys were doing a podcast and you invite me from the jump, I'm like, you know what? Like, I'll listen to a couple episodes
Yeah,
first,
it's a
and then
little
maybe
nerve-wracking.
we'll have the chat.
No, for
That's
sure.
not what
totally
that wasn't my
understand that.
mindset. I wasn't like, I'm going to listen to it first. I just happened, it was just like timing wise.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
I was like,
That makes sense.
okay, they did a nice job.
But
Well,
you're
good.
the
I'm glad it
first
worked
one
out.
that has actually seen the show since it has aired. Everyone's
No
like,
one else
nope, I haven't
watched it.
watched
No
it.
one-
Maybe
no
some
one.
of them are lying. I don't know. Some of them are kind of
Oh,
holding
really?
out
I
on
thought
us.
I had to.
Well, you
You're
should,
like-
so you know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
I blacked it all out of my memory. So watching these
Same.
is like the first time, kind of like you.
Yeah. It's kind of a bummer.
Yeah. Yeah.
The amount of the emotion going into watching that first episode and then seeing it. I mean,
We
we
were
exchanged
so
some text
nervous,
messages,
yeah.
just like, oh my god.
Yeah,
and
I
then
was nervous.
I wanted to text you, but you were like, I know you were already kind of like, oh, well, like, maybe we'll come on, we'll talk about it down the road or whatever.
Oh, I
but
feel bad. You could have texted me.
yeah,
Sorry.
I was like, you need to watch the first episode. Like,
Yeah.
fuck, holy shit, all the shit that they set up in that episode
Yeah,
is
it's
pretty
a lot.
amazing.
It's a lot. Okay, so just as an overall, in a general sense, what was the hardest part about being on Laguna Beach, and then what was the best part? Because there were good things about it too.
Yeah, I mean, I think it gave me so many opportunities, and I wouldn't be able to build the career I have without it.
Yeah.
So that's definitely the best part. I think the hardest part is that I feel like we didn't really get to go off and have like a normal college experience.
Yeah, we've talked about that, yeah.
Which we'll be okay.
Right, we have the
We're
Hollywood
fine.
experience.
Yes, which was really fun.
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, I think a little bit of like normalcy is like, I feel like I missed out on that. But totally, I mean, it was worth it.
No, for sure,
Yeah.
for sure. And then if you could relive any moment from the show, what would it be?
Like relive it to enjoy it or relive it to fix it?
Okay, well, both. So, okay,
Okay.
what's your redo? We always do a redo.
The do-over, yeah.
Yep.
is a big
Okay.
one.
Yeah.
If I could relive any moment, oh gosh, I don't know. It would probably be like graduation or prom or
Yeah.
one of those things, which
Yeah.
is really cool that we have.
Yeah. Did you see any of those episodes when you watched a little bit of it back?
I watched prom.
Okay. You should watch Graduation,
Yeah.
see if you cry.
Oh, am I gonna cry?
Yeah. Even I had
Really?
tears.
She's like, even I cried at your
at
graduation.
yours.
Well, yeah, your boyfriend was like,
Which is really funny. But I was like, I'm not going to cry, and I'm watching it. I'm like,
oh really? Okay.
Yeah, it's
All right.
emotional. It's sweet.
but it is
Okay.
in a sweet way, and it takes
Yeah.
you back. And honestly, after riding the roller coaster of watching the season, getting to that moment is like, oh yeah, this is like,
Makes it
this
all
is kind of
worth
like what
it.
we thought. It was a nice little documentary of our lives, moments with our parents and stuff.
Yeah, they did a good job of keeping those moments in there. I think because it wasn't. I mean, I don't think that would happen today.
Yeah. But
Of like keeping the sweet moments.
Yeah, there were some like wholesome moments,
Yeah.
and I feel like they did a good job. Like they had to keep it interesting. They had to keep like a storyline, but I think there was also parts in there that were very true to like this was high school,
Yeah.
and it feels very nostalgic and like sweet.
Yeah.
I did watch Cabo because I was like, that.
let's get
guys,
into
I'm so sorry.
Cabo.
I'm
So
so
you're-
sorry.
you're- sorry for
No, I'm sorry that you
Cabo.
guys had to watch it. Well, I actually think you were fine.
She did
I'm
really
sorry
talk
to
well.
you.
Thank you.
Well, so there was a couple things. One, my biggest regret. I was watching it. I called you a slut.
I know. Well, listen,
I'm
I called
so sorry.
Thank you.
It was like
thank you.
And like watching it, it was my like, I couldn't believe I did that because I think where I'm at now, like I would never
I know.
call another woman that
same.
or girl, and it was for me like the most embarrassing moment. I was like, oh, gross.
Well, thank you. I called you a slut in a later
I'm getting, like,
episode, and I
chicken-
also
was-
I have
I was
it right
so
here.
embarrassed.
I was going to apologize to you also
Oh,
for the
I'm
stuff that I said
sorry.
about. No. I'm glad that. I mean, no,
sorry.
thank you. But
Yeah.
I said some really dumb stuff, and I've
I
looked
mean-
back, and that's like my big thing. I'm like, my thing is, when I watch it now, I'm like, I wasn't confident at all. I was actually so insecure.
Same.
And that I took it out on you in a lot
Yeah.
of ways. And so I am sorry for that because I said some horrible things.
We weren't great.
We were not great.
sorry.
The thing with this show, the moments where some of those lines that we pop off and whether we're trying to get a laugh from our friend, it's just all those insecurities, that's what they're looking for. And that's what they're going to use. It's almost you could say it in passing, like you almost mumble it, like and it's still going to find its way to air.
Well, I don't know if you guys felt this way. I didn't think it was going to find its way to air. Like when they were doing this, I was like, I just made $2,000. Like I was like, we just got away with something.
Yeah.
Like I thought, I was
100%.
like, we have tricked these people. Like who is gonna watch this? There's no way it's making it. And I think that on top of like just inexperience in reality, and like there hadn't been a lot of this.
Yep.
I think we spoke pretty freely. Like we were pretty unfiltered,
Yep.
and which is one of the reasons it was nice and felt
Authentic.
Yes,
Yeah.
authentic.
There was,
I agree.
So I think you and Dieter have filled me in a little bit more about Cabo and like after the dinner, where did I go jumping into some?
You saved
pond?
him.
Do you remember this?
You are so drunk at that dinner.
Truly like one of the drunkest we've probably both
it's-
ever seen him.
No, I've seen him. You've seen him. You've definitely seen him like that.
Actually-
but like on camera, that was the
yeah.
worst you ever got. And I mean, the thing about Cabo is, I think I was there for like almost a week before they arrived.
Yeah, I was
Like,
wondering if it was the back end or front end. They were there.
Yeah,
at some
they came
point.
in. They came in at the end. So like I had been there. I mean, maybe like 4 or 5 days already.
Oh my gosh.
I know. And yeah, so you were very drunk at that dinner. And so you came over and started eating off my plate. And so I think like what they use is I'm like, here, I'm going to make a little plate for you, buddy. So you, whatever.
Buddy.
But then you got me out of there, which was a nice move.
No, but
And
then
thank you for that.
Jumped in a fountain.
Yeah, that's what I was told. So
You did.
I
You
had
jumped
my
in a
mic pack
fountain. I
on.
think
you
and
ruined
Tim
a
was
mic
pissed
pack.
about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jessica was not thrilled.
Oh yes.
Jessica Reynolds.
Now, what was did you see the jumping in the fountain?
Yeah.
Did I was
Yeah,
it
no, I
did I
saw it.
swan dive? Did I
It was
casually
you
go?
committed to the jump. You
Was
were
it
just
a
like
cannonball?
you were just you. I mean, it's like that way you get.
Where I'm
We were
just,
just like,
I'm just buzzing.
Oh my god.
and I watched you just go in, and I was like, I'm out.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, my buddy filled in the rest. He said we had to go home after these. Like I was trying to take you home, and you just jumped on the back of a car and
Yes.
said, "Hey, can you take me back
wow.
to the Malia where we were staying?" And
Yes.
like offered up some cash. And then
You're lucky to be alive.
He said that we stood on the
Yes.
the back bumper of like a 4Runner and held onto the
Cabo.
top while they drove us back to
Right?
the hotel.
Man. Wow. If only we had all of that on camera.